Welcome to your personalized deep dive. Today we're diving into user research and interview techniques.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this isn't just for, tech folks designing apps. This is about getting to better information, period.
Yeah.
Whether you're prepping for that big meeting or just fascinated by how we understand each other.
Right.
You provided a stack of articles from the Nielsen Norman Group, the UX gurus,
Uh-huh.
and they are all about making things easy to use.
They are?
So let's jump right in.
Okay.
This first article, 6 mistakes when crafting interview questions.
Yeah.
It really grabbed my attention.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
made me rethink how I ask questions in general, not just formal interviews.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
We ask questions all the time, but how often do we consider if we're accidentally leading people to the answers we want to hear?
Right.
Yeah.
The article highlights common mistakes like asking hypothetical questions or starting with closed fact-based questions too early.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about how I ask my team questions now.
Think about it this way. Imagine you're interviewing someone about their cooking habits.
Okay.
Which is better? Do you cook often? Or tell me about a time you cooked something memorable. See the difference?
Totally.
Yeah.
The second question invites a story, a narrative.
Right.
It goes beyond a simple yes or no.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
through that narrative, you uncover not just what they do, but the why behind their actions.
Oh, wow.
It's where the real gold lies.
This is making me think about a recent project I worked on where I was gathering feedback from users.
Uh-huh.
I wish I'd read this article beforehand.
Yeah.
I was totally asking leading questions without even realizing it.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
But now you're armed with this knowledge. Think about how you can apply it to your next project.
No.
What kinds of questions will you be asking?
Okay, so the way we ask questions has a huge impact on the responses we get.
Right.
But this next article, research plans, organize, document, inform,
Okay.
made me realize that planning is just as important.
Hmm.
And I have to admit, I usually skip this step.
I understand the feeling. It
Yeah.
can seem tedious,
Right.
but even a simple plan can be incredibly beneficial.
Okay.
Think of it like mapping out a road trip.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
A map helps you stay on track and prevents you from getting lost.
Exactly.
But how does that apply to research?
Well, a research plan helps you stay focused, ensures you're gathering the right data, and even helps you spot your own biases.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
The article mentioned something about documenting assumptions beforehand.
Uh-huh.
That seems like a really smart way to stay objective.
It is.
Could you walk me through how that works in practice?
Absolutely.
All right.
Let's say you're researching how people use a specific feature on a website.
Okay.
Before you start gathering data, write down what you think you know about how people are using it.
Mm-hmm.
What are your assumptions about their behavior, their motivations, their pain points?
So by putting those assumptions down on paper, you're making them more visible, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
You're forcing yourself to confront your preconceived notions and be more open to alternative viewpoints.
Okay.
It's like holding up a mirror to your own biases.
That's so helpful.
Yeah,
I can see how that would help you stay more objective and avoid leading questions in your research.
precisely.
Yeah.
And it allows you to be more receptive to unexpected findings.
Okay.
Sometimes the most valuable insights come from challenging our assumptions.
I've always struggled with taking qualitative data seriously.
Oh, okay.
I tend to think numbers are more concrete, more reliable.
Uh-huh.
But this next article, data, is more than numbers. Why qualitative data isn't just opinions is making me rethink my whole approach.
That's a common misconception.
It is.
But qualitative data can be incredibly powerful, especially when you're trying to understand the human side of things.
The article argues that qualitative research gathered through interviews or observations gives you the why behind things,
Right.
the rich human context that numbers alone often miss.
It's like if you're launching a new feature, wouldn't you want to know why people love or hate it, not just how many clicked on it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the motivations, the frustrations, the emotional responses that drive people's behavior.
Okay, I'm starting to see the light.
Good.
It's like if you're designing a new product, a handful of in-depth interviews with users can reveal more about the product's potential success than just looking at website traffic.
Think of it like this.
Okay.
Even a small sample size can yield incredible insights.
Oh, really?
It's not always about generalizing to the entire population,
Yeah.
but about uncovering those critical usability issues,
Right.
those unmet needs, those hidden desires that might not show up in quantitative data.
This is making me think about how I gather feedback from my team.
Yeah.
I tend to rely on surveys and metrics.
Okay.
But maybe I need to incorporate more qualitative methods like one-on-one conversations to get a better understanding of their experiences.
It's all about using the right tool for the job.
Qualitative and quantitative data can work together to give you a more complete picture.
This deep dive is already changing the way I think about gathering information.
I love it.
Now, this next article, getting into the discovery mindset, really resonated with me.
Okay.
I'm someone who loves to jump right into solution mode,
Right.
but this article is urging me to slow down and really understand the problem first.
It's about ditching the solution mindset,
Okay.
where you're so focused on finding a specific solution that you miss the bigger picture.
The article uses the example of designing kitchen utensils,
Mm-hmm.
starting with, how can we make a better spatula?
Yeah,
Might limit your thinking.
it could.
But if you focus on understanding people's frustrations while cooking,
Right.
that opens up a whole world of potential solutions you might never have considered.
What's fascinating about the discovery mindset
Yeah.
is that it allows you to be more open to new possibilities,
Okay.
to see the problem from different angles,
Uh-huh.
and to come up with more innovative solutions.
It's like being a detective.
Yeah,
You don't start with the solution, you start with the clues and let them lead you to the truth.
exactly. And by embracing the unknown, by being comfortable with ambiguity, and by being willing to challenge your own assumptions, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities.
This is making me rethink how I approach problem solving in general.
Great.
Say I'm trying to improve my productivity.
Okay.
Instead of jumping to a specific app or system,
Yeah.
maybe I should start by mapping out my actual workflow.
Uh-huh.
Where are the real bottlenecks? What are the underlying causes of my procrastination?
You're getting it.
Yeah.
It's about asking the right questions, gathering the right data, and being open to unexpected answers.
Okay, so we've talked about the importance of asking good questions,
Right.
planning our research,
Yeah.
and approaching problems with a discovery mindset.
Exactly.
Now I'm curious to see what other insights these UX gurus have in store for us.
Okay.
Let's dive into the next article.
Let's do it.
This next one is like a buffet of research methods.
Oh, fun.
It's fascinating to see the wide range of tools and techniques available to UX researchers.
Yeah,
Oh, this sounds exciting.
it is.
I'm always looking for new tools to add to my research toolbox.
Okay.
Let's see what we can learn.
Let's go. This article, the UX Research Cheat Sheet, it's like a smorgasbord of research methods.
Okay.
It's a great reminder that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to research.
Right.
The right method depends on what you're trying to learn.
I'm looking at this cheat sheet now, and it's a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
There are so many options. How do we even know where to begin?
Think of it like having a toolbox full of different tools.
Okay.
You wouldn't use a hammer to screw in a screw, right?
Wow.
Each research method has its strengths and limitations.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's about choosing the right tool for the job.
Right.
But how do I know which tool is the right one?
It depends on your research goals.
Okay.
What are you trying to learn? Are you trying to understand how people are currently using a product?
Okay.
Are you trying to test a new design?
Right.
Are you trying to gather feedback on a new concept?
Right. The goal should drive the method.
Yes,
I'm starting to see how important that research plan is.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Having a clear plan helps you stay focused and ensures you're gathering the right data using the right methods.
So this cheat sheet lists methods like field studies, usability testing, eye tracking, analyzing search logs. It's amazing how many different ways there are to gather insights about user behavior.
And it's not just about using one method in isolation.
Okay.
Often the most powerful insights come from combining different methods.
Like using a mix of qualitative and quantitative data.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For example, you might start with some user interviews to understand people's needs and pain points.
Okay.
Then you might follow up with a survey to gather quantitative data on how widespread those issues are.
It's like putting together a puzzle.
Yeah.
Each research method contributes a different piece to the overall picture.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And the more pieces you have, the clearer the picture becomes.
So from field studies to A/B testing to card sorting, there's a whole world of research methods out there.
There is.
I'm excited to start exploring some of these and see how I can apply them to my work.
And don't be afraid to get creative.
Yeah.
The beauty of user research is that there's always room for experimentation and innovation.
Speaking of creative research methods,
Yes.
this last article we have, Cognitive Mapping in User Research,
Okay.
is really intriguing.
It is a very interesting one.
It's about externalizing people's mental models,
Hmm.
those hidden thought processes we all have about a topic.
Cognitive mapping is such a powerful technique.
Okay.
It's like asking someone to draw out their thought process using sticky notes and markers.
I love that it's so visual and engaging.
Yeah.
The article mentions that it can reveal connections and patterns that words alone might miss.
Think of it like planning a trip. You might have a mental map of landmarks, routes, even emotional associations.
Right.
Cognitive mapping helps you bring that internal map to life.
So it's like taking a peek inside someone's brain
Yeah,
and seeing how they connect the dots.
exactly.
I can see how this would be incredibly valuable for understanding how people think about a particular product or service.
And it's not just about understanding their mental models,
Okay.
but also about becoming aware of our own.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So by externalizing our own thought processes,
Mhm.
we can start to see things from a new perspective and identify our own biases.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cognitive mapping can be a powerful tool for self-reflection and personal growth.
You know, when we first started talking about cognitive mapping, I thought it sounded like a very specific research method.
Uh-huh.
But now I'm realizing that it can be applied to so many different areas of life.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It can be used for brainstorming, problem solving, decision making, even just getting your own thoughts organized.
This is making me think about how I approach planning a project. Okay. I usually just make a to-do list.
Yeah.
But maybe I should try cognitive mapping to see if it helps me uncover hidden connections and dependencies between tasks.
It's definitely worth a try.
Yeah.
You might be surprised at the insights you uncover.
It's like when you unpack after a move,
Yeah.
you're not just putting stuff away, you're recreating the mental map of where things belong in your new space.
Right.
Except with cognitive mapping, you're doing it for ideas and processes.
And just like unpacking can reveal things you forgot you even had,
Right.
cognitive mapping can uncover hidden connections or assumptions you didn't realize were influencing you.
Okay, I'm definitely adding cognitive mapping to my to-do list. It sounds like a valuable exercise whether you're a researcher, a designer, or just someone who wants to understand their own thinking better.
It's a versatile tool that can be applied to so many different situations, and it's a lot of fun too.
Speaking of fun, this entire deep dive has been a blast.
Mm-hmm.
I came in thinking I was going to learn some dry technical stuff about user research, but it's been so much more than that.
It's been a pleasure exploring these concepts with you. It's amazing how these seemingly niche ideas can have such broad applications in our lives.
Absolutely. I'm walking away with a whole new perspective on how to ask better questions, plan my research, and even approach problem solving in general.
I'm curious what stands out to you as the most valuable takeaway from this deep dive.
You know, for me, it's the emphasis on the human element of research. I've always been drawn to the data side of things, but this deep dive has made me realize that numbers only tell part of the story. It's the qualitative data, the stories, the emotions that truly bring those numbers to life.
I completely agree. It's about understanding the why behind the what. It's about connecting with people on a deeper level and using those insights to create truly meaningful experiences.
Exactly. So whether you're designing a website, prepping for a crucial conversation, or just trying to understand the world around you, the insights from this deep dive can help you ask better questions, gather richer information, and ultimately make better decisions.
And here's a final thought to ponder. If you were to cognitive map your own approach to learning or problem solving, what would it look like? What connections might you discover that you hadn't seen before?
That's a great question.
Mm.
I think I'm going to need a whole stack of sticky notes to map out my own brain. But I have a feeling it's going to be a very revealing exercise.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for joining me on this fascinating deep dive.